A while ago, I ran across a short story that I wrote before I became a choreographer about the power of thoughts. When I reread it, I noticed that it had some of the grand old themes of dance. It had a fertility rite, a rain dance, a love triangle, a revival, even some birds flying and dying. So I thought, think I'll make a dance out of this. And I decided that I would start with the music first, and so I went to my longtime collaborator, composer-musician Miles Anderson.
Nancy brought over her story that she'd written years before and said, I want to make a piece with this, I want to choreograph it, I want to narrate it, and I want to do everything but dance all the parts and write the music, and I'm hoping you can write the music for it. I said, well, we can certainly have a try. What is it you have in mind for music? And she said, well, nothing actually specific, but I like the tempo and sort of the feel of this Bach Brandenburg Concerto, the sixth one, the first movement. And so I thought, well, I can probably actually use that. I'll combine it and those two parts into one, have Erica play it on her 5-string electric violin. And then later on, as I decided which section would have viola or electric violin, and then which sections would have alto trombone. And we started putting it together, and finally, a few weeks later, we had our first rehearsal. Try it now.
Billy Tiger's eyes stopped dead still on young Sarah Moon's brown leg, swinging back and forth and back and forth.
Okay, why don't we pick it up right before that, that trombone, like that thing that's in the trombone. Okay, let's start right before there, about 3 measures in front.
Hey Shark, I've never been to a virility ride. Hey Shark, I've never been to a virility ride. Hey Shark, I've never been to a virility ride. B shudders and wishes Dick would go stick his head in the mud. Now everyone, it's your thoughts that got you where you are. Your thoughts will bring the Henry's babies. It's your thoughts that got you where you are. Your thoughts are highly contagious.
Once we got the music going, I went to the studio to break the news to the dancers that I was going to choreograph a fertility rite and that they were going to dance it on stage, and worse than that, that they were going to have to be creatures in a swamp.
Well, I have been a swan in Swan Lake, and I've trained all my life for that, standing on my toes and flapping my arms. So it's a nice change of pace to get a little more down to earth and be a flamingo in a swamp.
Flamingos are prehistoric. When there's drought, flamingos fly in search of mud.
Bruno, great. Yeah. I make up the movement and put it on the dancers in rehearsal. And then I work with the individual dancers to develop the character and also to refine the phrasing of the movement so it fits the music as well as the narrative track.
Sorry. No, my own straight.
Really?
The sound score says, and Billy Tiger 5, 6, and then just go over, the bird comes to here, you reach for young Sarah Moon, and then go over. This is the moment when you back off like this, and so you want to really give it that sort of feeling of being transported. That's it, exactly. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah. That's it. Good. That's it. Okay, let's
try it again. Wait a second. Right
Going
at that
so
moment.
low.
Yeah, it just went a little too low.
Yeah.
Right there. Try it one more time. Yeah.
These dancers never know what to expect. Gene Isaacs and I both make dances for the company, and one of us might be making a really funny piece like Swamp, and at the same time the other one will be making a really serious piece.
Oh, well, the neat thing about our dance company is that the dancers have to handle a lot of challenges from two choreographers who have a variety of creative approaches, so that they're a very versatile group of dancers.
How that happens, why it happens, how this character, it always seems to be, no matter which couple, it seems to be.
But they really love it. I think the reason they enjoy being with our company is that they never know what's going to happen creatively and what kinds of challenges will be thrown out to them.
For choreographers, the creative process of making a dance is often the most exciting and fulfilling. It's so amazing to stand back and look at your dance and wonder, where on earth did it come from? But really, a dance is not finished until the house lights go down and the curtain opens and the dancers begin to move.
Flamingos live on mud. They strain it through their bills and filter out the muck to eat the tiny organisms. Flamingos are prehistoric. When there's drought, flamingos fly in search of mud, unlike the fish, which dries up along with the mud or crawls ashore and turns into a human.
Flamingos live on mud. They strain it through their bills and filter out the muck to eat the tiny organisms. Flamingos are prehistoric. When there's drought, flamingos fly in search of mud, unlike the fish, which dries up along with the mud or crawls ashore and turns into a human. Myself among you, smile. That's right, children. Grin at sin. Smile, smile, smile.
The Deaconess Bee Beetle, DD, is the one with the disturbingly pointed breast. The DD is for the divinity diploma she got from a magazine advertisement. Bee's husband, Dick Beetle, is in the fish pond. He drinks like a fish and never comes to services.
Now let us all pray together for some rain and babies for Shark Henry and his dear wife, Lucille.
Shark Henry turns a deep purple and shudders that the Deaconess has revealed his problem. He glares at his wife Lucille, who placidly dances in the fish pond, not a thought in her head. there has been so little rain, the fish hug the muddy bottom for their lives. Deaconess B. Beetle's nostrils widen as she says,
I saw you in the swamp, and I said to myself, whatever would you be doing in that snake-infested place? And I figured out you were looking for that medicine man, Billy Tiger, stooping to devil, dealing shark in rain.
Billy Tiger says it's your thoughts that are the devil's.
I saw you in the swamp, and I said to myself, whatever would you be doing in that snake-infested place? And I figured out you were looking for that medicine man, Billy Tiger, stooping to devil, dealing shark in rain.
Whatever he is, he's got power, and he says he had to work hard to get it. Now all he does is think the thing into happening. He says nothing ever happened that wasn't thought of first, and tonight he'll do a fertility rite. Get everyone thinking of babies and rain, and bingo, it makes it all happen. And tonight, he'll do a fertility rite. The sun goes down. Rodents scurry back and forth and back and forth. One of the creatures lies by the fish pond, his eyes wide open, not a thought in his head. The only one who does not attend the fertility rite is young Sarah Moon's mother, who says she's seen ceremonies like this on TV. Young Sarah Moon is admiring Deaconess B. Beetle's disturbingly pointed breasts. B is everything young Sarah Moon's mother isn't. B's husband, Dick Beetle, yells, "Hey, Shark! I've never been to a virality rite! Hey, Shark! I've never been to a virality rite! Hey, Shark! I've never been to a virality rite!" B shudders and wishes Dick would go stick his head in the mud. A hush falls over the crowd. White egret plumes stick out of Billy Tiger's hat. Perched on his arm is Mo, his huge red-breasted toucan. Billy looks like a bird himself, and B stares at him like a frog hypnotized by a frogger's nightlight. Billy Tiger's eyes stop dead still on young Sarah Moon's brown leg, swinging back and forth and back and forth. Now everyone, it's your thoughts that got you where you are. Your thoughts will bring me Henry's babies. It's your thoughts that got you where you are. Your thoughts are highly contagious. It's your thoughts that got you where you are. Your thoughts are highly contagious. Think baby, think babies, think baby, think babies, think babies, babies, and rain. Think baby, think baby, think babies, and rain. No one thinks babies. Shark Henry thinks of getting his virility back. Young Sarah Moon thinks of Deaconess Bee Beetle's disturbingly pointed breasts and how her mother's pearl teardrop necklace would look dangling between them. Bee Beetle thinks of how great it would be if Dick Beetle were dead, and she and this great bird-like man, Billy Tiger, could get together. Billy Tiger thinks of young Sarah Moon and how he'd gladly give up all this medicine man business and even his bird Mo for just one bite out of young Sarah Moon's brown leg. Lucille thinks of nothing at all.
No one thinks babies. Shark Henry thinks of getting his virility back. Young Sarah Moon thinks of Deaconess Bee Beetle's disturbingly pointed breasts and how her mother's pearl teardrop necklace would look dangling between them. Bee Beetle thinks of how great it would be if Dick Beetle were dead and she and this great bird-like man Billy Tiger could get together. And Billy Tiger thinks of young Sarah Moon and how he'd gladly give up all this medicine man business and even his bird Mo for just one bite out of young Sarah Moon's brown leg. Lucille thinks of nothing at all.
The swamp is on fire. Shark and Lucille have not made love. No one was thinking babies. And the first day after the fertility rite, Dick Beetle's bloated body is found stuck head first in some dried up mud. He was thrown from his swamp buggy. Then, young Sarah Moon's mother has a fatal heart attack while watching her soaps. She was found clutching her pearl teardrop necklace. At the double funeral rite, Shark's virility comes back as he lusts after the orphan young Sarah Moon and the widow Deaconess Bee Beetle. Dangling between Bee Beetle's disturbingly pointed breasts is the pearl teardrop necklace of the late Mrs. Moon. Lucille enjoys the scent of the funeral flowers, not a thought in her head. Everyone begins to think.
Death comes in threes.
That gets everyone thinking.
Death comes in threes. Death comes in threes.
They all predict a third death. It turns out to be Mo, Billy Tiger's huge red-breasted toucan. A hungry alligator bit off Mo's leg where it connected to his body, and he bled to death in a matter of minutes, squawking the whole time. People feel guilty for predicting his death, and so does Billy Tiger for thinking he'd give up Mo for just one bite out of Sarah Moon's brown leg, swinging back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. Then Bee Beetle is seen sneaking back from the swamp, and Shark Henry says,
I saw you in the swamp, and I said to myself, whatever would you be doing in that snake-infested place? And I figured out you were looking for that medicine man, Billy Tiger, stooping to devil-dealing Bee Beetle.
Billy Tiger says it's your thoughts that are the devil's.
Everyone begins to think that Bee and Billy are consoling each other in bed, but no one in the whole swamp imagined young Sarah Moon's joining them!
Billy loves young Sarah Moon. Young Sarah Moon loves Bee. Bee loves Billy. They get into bed, Billy in the middle. He is pleased to be next to young Sarah Moon, but Bee feels like a prickly pear. Billy's caresses feel like sawgrass to young Sarah Moon, who wants to be next to Bee, who is ecstatic to be rubbing Billy. It is hot, and the three of them fall asleep, thinking rain. Meanwhile, Shark and Lucille are making love. Lucille is transported with pleasure, not a thought in her head. But Shark is thinking about Bee Beetle and young Sarah Moon, and how he'd like to be in between them when the first raindrops ping against the roof. The pings get louder and faster. The fish pond begins to fill up, and Shark impregnates his wife as lightning darts from the dark sky. The swamp is ablaze with the news. Lightning has struck. Billy Tiger, Deaconess Bee Beetle, and young Sarah Moon have burnt up in Billy's bed. Shark goes limp with relief that he was not the one who had been in between the two women. At the triple funeral rite, people keep thinking
Everything comes in three. Everything comes in threes. Everything comes in threes. Everything comes in threes. Everything comes in threes.
9 months later, Lucille finds a dry spot next to the fish pond. She labors all night. At dawn, triplets are born, their eyes wide open, not a thought yet in their heads. As the sun rises higher, Lucille watches a flock full of fertile flamingos land in the fish pond. She is enraptured by the glimmer of their feathers and thinks of nothing at all. Flamingos live on mud. They strain it through their bills and filter out the muck to eat the tiny organisms.
Whatever would you be doing in that snake-infested place? And I asked myself, we would say that for like a year ago. I was asking myself, whatever would you be doing in that snake-infested place?
This role was great fun for me because I've never danced with disturbingly pointed breasts before. I never thought I would, so it was fun.
The whole time I was doing it, because I'd learned basically the whole dance movement-wise, and when you put my character on the ground, I was just like, well, nobody's gonna see me back here anyway. So each time I did it, I'm like thinking, God, did I do it the same way last time? And
the hardest thing with Mo tended to, he was not a very balanced bird. And it was hard to get him straight all the time. And sometimes I'd have to put him on my head and he'd be kind of hanging over to the side, and Nancy would tell me to straighten up Mo, and I had no idea where Mo was. On top of my head.
I think I got my version virility back. Well, the pregnant flamingos by the end, I think I got my virility back. Yeah.
Approximately the lightning struck.
As the lightning struck.
As the lightning
Bingo,
struck.
you were all pregnant. Get those bellies on.
And we spent at least one whole rehearsal walking around, following her, going step, 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 step. My character is someone who doesn't think. And
You think a lot, though. Did you see the audience when you're upside down like,
no, because my eyes are crossed. I'll do it for you.
Oh my.
So you saw two audiences. You're mortified.
Yeah, but and the top of my head. I mean, all the time I was sort of thinking about it a lot. Get to the top of your head, arch your back, open your legs, flex your feet, birth. Scrape at the bell now.
That's about where it ends.